Welcome back to Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. So, back to Tidal Plant. Or rather, we're gonna start Tidal Plant, sorry. One thing I actually haven't brought up before is that one thing that I also really like about this game is that this game takes things from Sonic 3 NK and even from Mania, even a step up from Mania. With Sonic Mania, of course, carries the same mode of transition from zones and ats that we saw in Sonic 3 NK. However, even in Sonic Mania, when you transition from one zone to the next, there's at the very least one brief moment where it fades to black. Right? There you go. Yours are running on water. There you go. However, one thing that you might have already noticed up until this point is that this game takes takes a pitch from the recent God of War games and it presents its entirety on one shot. So there's never a fade to black in between zones. All the transitions are perfectly seamless. So pretty cool that they went that extra mile.
The only case we've seen,
kind of like what. No, go on.
The only case we've seen from the previous part to when you actually get from the purple palace, whatever the fuck it's called, to this area.
That is true, but considering they created a little magical, special stage style thing, I think that still works fine. Like I think
it's a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, again, this just feels like an evolution of what Sonic 3 Knuckles and Mania was doing, so I'm fine with it either way.
Well, that was kind of the whole point, so...
Oh no, poor Tails.
Tails is going to drown!
I mean, this game according to Noah...
There we go.
Nothing of value was lost.
According to Noah, this game...
Go on, Pedro.
According to Noah, this game was 5 years in development, so... There was clearly a lot of time and effort went into this.
Wait, what did damage you?
The beam.
The beam.
The beam dropper.
The beam dropper too.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, composer, I do like Mystic Cave Zone sound font as well.
If I remember correctly, let me see. Like, I mean, Noah composed most of the tracks himself, but I don't know if he. Let me just double check real quick if he composed this one.
Tails is going to drown again.
Wait, sure, is Tails your favorite Sonic character?
One of them, yes.
My condolences.
Tidal Plant Act 1.
Hey, it's not his fault the writing is,
Don't worry, Shiro, that's what Ian Flynn is for. Play Sonic Frontiers.
I'm just messing with her.
You're gonna really like Tails' arc in Sonic Frontiers.
Right now, look at him.
Oh yeah, true. Frontiers, the IDW comics, he's doing a lot better.
Yeah.
I will play Frontiers very soon.
Alright, let me just say... Tidal Plant. Yeah, Noah Copeland did Act 1, whereas Rigid Atoms did Act 2 of this zone. Okay. So yeah, Noah Copeland, the designer and director of this game, also did the music for this stage.
So I'm actually curious on one thing on the controls. How do you make sure to differentiate between the spin dash and the shaped legs?
Okay. The super peel out, you normally hold up, and then you start what you would normally do a spin dash, essentially. The spin dash you hold down.
That's why...
It's like a Sonic CD.
Yeah, Sonic CD introduced the super peel out tail, and it's like the spin dash, but you press up instead of down. And it's something that was later removed because I guess Hirokazu Azuhara didn't particularly care for the peel out. However, Mania brought that back, and this game keeps it too.
Like, it's visually cool, but I feel it might feel a bit redundant.
Not necessarily. Okay, so the ideal way to differentiate the super peel out with the spin dash is that the peel out is a lot faster, but you have a bit of risk to that reward, essentially. Lost World brought back the super peel out move, thankfully.
Yeah,
Actually?
like... yes, Shiroi. If you hold the dash button, one of the dash buttons at least, he will do the peel animation and blah blah blah. Alright, moving on. And here you go. Here's the bubble gimmick from the original version of the stage. So there you go.
I think that while you're encased in there, you're not at the risk of drowning.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if you're inside the bubble, obviously, because usually the way Sonic works is...
I just wanted to be sure.
Sure. Basically, that's how it works in Sonic games. Bubbles are good. Go for the bubbles.
Actually, I distinctly remember. Well, okay, they're not technically bubbles, but the chaos shaped, the chaos of particles being from Adventure 2 are pretty bad.
What? Oh, you mean the artificial chaos?
Yeah.
Well, that's not
They're
bubbles.
technically water spears.
Oh, they do resemble water bubbles.
I guess, but I don't think it's quite. I think it's
Think
very.
about it like this. They're like slimy clusters of water as opposed to air pockets of which like bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch the spikes or else.
Yes.
Again, be thankful it's not like in Mega Man where it's an insta-kill.
One thing that they also added from the original game is that you can press. You can actually press down to make the bubbles slow down. While
Tails is stuck.
whereas pressing up, and you can also press the jump button to leave the bubble. So you can actually control how fast or slow the bubble goes. So there is more control in the bubble compared to the original game. So that's nice. All right, let's go on.
Playing Wario Land 3 has broken.
Like, no. So there is indeed a super peel out. However, honestly, ever since Mania came out, I'm a drop dash man. So I just use the drop dash.
I use a mix
That's
of them all.
supposed to be in Sonic 3, like it was Square.
Yes.
All right.
So essentially, Mania just fulfilled the prophecy.
All right.
And ever since then, it's
Boss
been a
time.
mainstay.
Hey, Fang.
Oh, there's Fang again.
This guy's a real nap.
A poor imitation of Eggman's first, Robotnik's first boss.
This guy's a real nappy causing trouble.
I think one of us made that joke already.
That doesn't have much
And
of a
I'll make
budget.
it again.
There you go.
That has no budget. Give him some credit.
And we got 10 rings. Yeah, basically the signpost will give you a random bonus at the end.
I wonder if you
Oh.
can juggle it to
Okay. All right.
give you more.
All right. This is something that I'm guessing Tay will probably appreciate. Paying homage to the other Game Gear games. Now we commandeer Tails the Submarine.
Cool. So to blow shit up.
So yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, no. Tails was out for blood and Tails Sky Adventure.
Okay.
What's the proper term? Sorry, go on, Pedro.
Okay, so the basic idea is that the drill can... when you hold the button, it will do a little dash forward with the drill, and you can also use the missiles to destroy anything like badniks and obstacles. So, yeah. And while you're in here, you have infinite air, don't worry. Like, since you're inside the submarine, you can breathe. So, you take your time.
So is this okay? I know how it works in Tails Adventure, but I'm asking for this. Is the sub still as fragile as the one from Crash Battle Cortex? That as soon as it scrapes a damaging object, it might as well be a KO.
No. Despite being in the submarine, it still operates on the same ring system. There's no health bar for the submarine.
Good.
All right. You also use missiles to press the levers. Go on.
I find it interesting. The first act was more in Mystic Cave Zone style of music, but this one feels more in tune with Sonic CDs.
Yeah, this game shares the same spirit as Sonic Mania. This game is determined to constantly throw new things at you.
Hey, if we wait long enough, we may find a coded dolphin.
Okay, that would have been cool if they included him as
An
like
Easter egg.
something you ride or literally an Easter egg.
Even in the background or something, but I guess, too much.
Yeah, no, they always do something different with each act, even if slightly. And for this act, yeah, somebody clearly thought, hey, it's a water level, and we were making a Game Gear game. Why not pay homage to the submarine? Because when people think the Sonic Game Gear games, one of the first things that comes up is Tails a submarine. So
yeah. There you go. That's way, but the systematical genocidal extermination of the Kukkus race.
Exactly.
Okay, Tia. You have to understand. They interrupted Tails' nap.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Johnny said, yeah, they interrupted Tails' nap, so they have to die too. I'm sorry. It's just like.
I mean, that is what happened.
I mean, that's just how the world works.
Johnny's not kidding. Jen is not kidding with that, by the way, Tail. According to the manual, that's what happened. The Kukkus were doing shit and woke up Tails from his nap, and the first thing he did right after that was gather his stuff to take them down. So technically,
I'm gonna make a bomb now.
Yay!
Show him a picture of Chaos Zero, then he'll cower in fear.
and yeah, once again, we're doing the Mega Man X thing where we keep seeing the progress of the boss, and keep plot progressing, even doing gameplay.
I should try playing Tails Adventure now that I probably would have a better idea of what to do.
Guys, we found it, the Alaskan bullworm.
Oh my god.
Nah, that's not the worm.
Is this that's his tongue? Yeah. But yeah, I gotta say.
Knuckles.
Also? What
Yes.
the fuck?
Wasn't that more of a thing?
This is an homage. This is an homage, Tail, to the original boss of Tidal Plant, which was Knuckles in this bit. So.
The Mega Man X comparison you were making, was that more of a thing in the later game?
No, they kind of already did that in the first game, if I remember correctly. That thing.
I guess Knuckles was...
Okay, basically, the original final boss of Tidal Plant was Knuckles in that device. So again, keeping up with the philosophy of the rest of the game, yes, they reinvented Tidal Plant, but at the same time, they still bothered to include all the iconic bits that you remember from the original game. So again, like, the original game has not been forgotten. Alright. And that's Act 2 done. Now let's go for Act 3.
Speaking of Metal Sonic, I do like the dynamic they have going with
there you go.
There he is.
There he is.
Hello again.
Yes.
I forgot, was he even in the original game?
No. But basically, Tail, I think Noah really wanted to create something that was like a hodgepodge of all the classic Sonic games, which includes CD, of course. And there it
Yeah,
is.
especially because we're having as the soundtrack did the one from CD.
Yep. The Japanese Metal Sonic theme.
Japanese Sonic,
Yes.
soundtrack thing.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of the Japanese tracks I do kind of like. I mean, it's like I said before, I do. In terms of remixes, I prefer the Generations remix of that one compared to the US one. But I mean, granted, it's a different context here, so I think it kind of fits this boss fight more than that racing CD.
I think it'll also did you know that Forces remixed the US theme for his bosses.
I was
He
gonna
said
say, that
that.
was one thing that was actually a pleasant surprise from Forces.
Yeah,
like,
because-
wow, okay.
Yeah, because I think someone in Sega's music department's kind of more biased towards the Japanese soundtrack.
Well, you have to understand. You have to
They are a
understand.
Japanese company.
You have to understand, Webs, that Naofumi Ataya's soundtrack was the actual soundtrack envisioned by Oshima, like that Oshima got Ataya to make. So that is regarded by the original director as the soundtrack of Sonic CD. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to throw shade at the US soundtrack, but regardless of which one you prefer, the original director of the game did intend for the Japanese one to be the soundtrack, you know.
You need to understand that you and I are like 2 of the 5 people who like the US soundtrack.
Yeah, so I was gonna say,
No.
so,
Well,
so
by
it
all,
was-
Okay.
good for you, I guess. I mean,
so it was
One at a time.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. Okay. Let's just make one thing straight. The US soundtrack has a ton of fans, okay? Both soundtracks are incredibly popular. Granted, yes, it is clear that the Japanese one was the one meant for it, to the point where the US one actually does leave in some Japanese tunes here and there. This is, however, not to discredit either tune, though. They're technically both canon, as the series has referenced both of them just fine, so it all just comes down to your preference.
two things. One, for that thing you just said, Joe, I mean, they didn't really have a choice. It was hard-coded into the game using the sound chip on the legacy. So they didn't have much option in that front. And two...
Oh, no. What I'm referring to is the fact that the US soundtrack actually just used some of the Japanese tunes instead of, their own.
And two, so it was down to Oshima's vision to destroy my eardrums with Tidal Tempest Bad Future.
Remember, they only did that though for the US soundtrack, is because those particular tracks literally could not be changed.
Yeah, I mean, well, and even if they could, it would have taken them way too long.
Anyway, welcome back to Atomic Destroyer. This is the final zone of the original game too. Okay. Taking a cue, of course, from various elements, including, of course, the FX zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is your typical final zone in a Sonic game, with very mechanical and full of lava and other kinds of typical Eggman-like gimmicks.
So a typical day of exercise for me then.
Basically, yeah.
But the big, well, okay, I guess they were not present for the 8-bit version, but does it contain slicers?
No. That's only a Metropolis thing, not so much of that.
Slicers are so old 90s now.
Tell that to Sonic 4. Sonic 4 still brought the slicers back.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the
I'm
slicers...
surprised that,
the
surprised
homing
that
attack makes them a cakewalk. The homing attack makes them a cakewalk.
I'm surprised, considering all the fan game present, no one tried to do a 2D remake of the Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2.
That's the thing too, like...
Well, the thing is, the story of Sonic 4 is kind of a bit incomplete, and people are probably waiting on it to be complete.
I mean,
yeah, sure.
Helps for the patience, I guess,
I'd have loved to have heard a proper Mega Drive sounding take on Metal Sonic's theme in 4 episodes.
There's
Pretty sure plenty of people have made those.
Even without a fan game.
That's the thing. That's the thing too. You have to that's the thing too. Like Sonic, most of Sonic 4, all of Sonic 4's zones are, to a certain extent, rehashes of zones from Sonic 1 and 2. So honestly, it's one of those things where
all the gimmicks like the torch, the
True.
cart, and stuff like that.
True, but honestly, I think better fan game makers are better off with just making stuff like this rather than try to salvage that.
Yes.
Also, Jova, don't worry. I'm sure Sonic 4 Episode 3 will happen along with Sonic SATS-AM Season 3.
Let me put it like this. I would like it to happen, but it...
Let him finish.
Just
For
to
the
see
sake
it
of
complete
closure,
and whatnot.
like I
That
am.
being
Hold on.
said,
Hey, Fang. Again, see that's the thing, Blips. Like one of the things in the Mega Man games like to do is there's always something in the background that indicates some kind of progression. Oh, there you go.
Oh. I want to destroy Sonic. No, me. No, me. No, me.
It looks like we have our triple trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a.
You okay there, Fang?
Triple war here.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Moving on.
As much as let me put it like this. I am perfectly fine with whatever happens with Sonic 4 Episode 3 or whatnot. If it happens, I'm glad. If it doesn't happen, nah.
Yeah.
What were those techniques?
They're bad next from the original game too. Ooh, look at that! Some awesome, some 3D.
Hey, this is the bit from Mania. Oh hey, look at. Oh hey, it's Metal's theme from Sonic the Fighters.
Yeah, I was like,
Yep.
wow, that's...
It's
a combination of his Stardust Speedway theme and
Yes.
Fighters theme. That's actually
That's
really
fun.
clever.
Are we gonna get a remix of
Oh
the
hey!
Please.
Hey, look, the U.S.
There you go, Dubs.
Everything's getting loved.
They're all here. All of the Metal Sonic themes.
What about Sonic?
Are we gonna get a remix of the theme that plays when you fight Metal Sonic and Sonic Heroes?
You know, what I'm made of? I would love a 16-bit rendition of what I'm made of. Like that would be so cool. But
As you can
unfortunately,
imagine, fans have indeed made those.
oh no, the fans, their fan made the 16-bit versions of what I made. But I just wish, yeah, it would be cool. But then again, this is normal Metal Sonic, not Neo Metal Sonic. So technically, I guess it wouldn't fit.
I mean, to be fair, people see what I'm made of as one of Metal Sonic's themes, so it could work.
Sure. All right, that was Act 1.
But yeah, like I was saying, I do like the current dynamic going on between Eggman and Metal Sonic now canonically, essentially, where I guess Eggman has kind of learned to treat Metal Sonic more like a son as opposed to just a subsidiant servant, and that in turn gets Metal Sonic to respect him more.
Which makes me wonder, like, what exactly will Metal Sonic think now that Eggman has a new favorite with Sage? So.
Well, hold on.
The same way that I'm guessing what Calliope thinks from the afterlife seeing a Tails.
I guess.
Let me put it like this. There's nothing saying that he doesn't still love both of them.
Yeah, and I say to you the same thing Jabba just said to like, I'm sure Kratos loves them both equally.
Right. Well, is that
so there you go. Eggman activated Chaos Control. There you go.
Okay, I would have objected, but Sonic 06 demonstrated, as Johnny said, that everyone with enough wanting will to believe can use Chaos Control, so whatever.
To be fair, Will does tend to be one of the activation bouts.
I still don't understand actually how the Deus Ex Machina movement from SA2 worked, because Sonic legitimately had a fake camera at that point.
How did they explain that though?
Okay, well,
I must have forgotten, sorry.
No! Let me explain. The point of that scene is that the fake Chaos Emerald has enough of the properties of a Chaos Emerald that you can use it similar to a Chaos Emerald. It is still not as potent as a real Chaos Emerald.
Okay,
This was to show up. Hold on. Finish. This was to show up the fact that Sonic actually was capable of chaos control, even with a fake emerald. Something that caught Shadow absolutely off guard.
I mean, whether you like that excuse, that's up to you. But that is the official explanation.
Okay. I understand, but that means that Tails constructed a Chaos Emerald that had some potential to give it to Eggman.
Yes, give it to Eggman, because the plan was, okay, we give him the fake emerald and it blows up. But Sonic demonstrated that, it could still be used. So let's say they gave him the fake, and the plants, Eggman's plan still worked.
Deji,
they made it to you idiots.
Deji, you are aware? Go on.
The point of it is that while the Chaos Emerald can be used similarly to a real Chaos Emerald, it wasn't still able to be used as potently as actual Chaos Control.
Oh, sure, I understand, but it still had some bit of potential. You think that to be just sure, Tails would just make a very shiny color.
Trust me, Teo. Teo, don't worry, you're not the first person to point out plot holes in SA2. That's just don't get me wrong. I enjoy the themes and overall of SA2, but yeah, like a lot of people have talked about, the script could have used another draft.
That bit's not really a plot hole, though. It is kind of like a bout of maybe this could have happened like that, but what we do know is that it was made to blow up the cannon.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, the gimmick of this stage is that you have to teleport through each sector and do something.
Yes, basically you complete all the 3 sections. And after you do that, you'll be able to progress, yes. Basically, Eggman trapped you in Eggman did the Superman 64 thing. He trapped Sonic into his maze. If you want to escape and save your friend Knuckles, Sonic, solve my maze. There you go.
Then there's no time to waste.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, I think Mania has about where you have to go from different rooms to proceed.
Yes, it does. In Egg Reverie, the final zone, yes. So this is taking cues from Mania, yes. Alright, moving on.
I guess the composer for this one decided to put the playlist that they had for the rave party of the night.
Well, let me see. Atomic Destroyer. The first act song was composed by Noah Copeland. This Act 2's track was done by DV2. Another Sonic fan who does tracks basically. Trying to see who did the Metal Sonic boss battle. The one that mixes all 3 Metal Sonic themes, that was done by Noah Copeland.
Okay.
Again, this guy is basically pulling a Chaplin. He's director, he's designer, and he's composer.
Saves on time, I guess.
I guess making sure it's a unified vision.
Basically, Shiroi, if you don't know, Charlie Chaplin was director, writer, and composer of his movies. Like, he did it all, basically.
Anyway, this stage looks great.
It does. There you go. Like I said, sure, it's basically them taking the original Atomic Destroyer and basically doing it Genesis style. What if the original 1994 Sonic team would have made it? There you go. There you go. We even have the same. Yes, going up. These particular bits can be very difficult because you have to constantly jump to avoid those lasers. So you have to put
Also, Tails, you can fly.
Well, actually, Sheila, remember, you can switch up to Tails and fly, or you can have Tails fly you there. So you can indeed use the Tails' flight to help you here. Remember, we're still operating on the same system that the Christian Whitehead games do, where you can control Tails by pressing up and jump to make him fly. So
it's not that; it's just he's constantly jumping up. It's like, did you forget?
Part of the course for the AI.
Yeah, that's part of the course for Tails' AI in these games. Sure, come on.
The AI forgot it.
The AI is acrophone.
Remember, Shiroi. Remember, Shiroi. If there's one.
How'd you get hit while in the tube?
Projectile reached you.
There was a projectile that reached me.
Those usually aren't supposed to hurt you when you're in the tube.
It can happen, actually. It actually can happen in the classic games too, so I can understand. Like, that being said, yeah, I guess you can potentially claim that they probably could have done something to stop it from happening, but... Alright, moving on. Alright, that was my
This
bad.
music is reminding me of the Eggman zones in the advanced games with how fast-paced it is.
Probably an intentional reference. Knowing this game. Alright, so basically, make sure you wait. There you go. Now, let's go. Let's, yeah, there you go. I do like also how the camera pans up so you can see. That's something that the classic games didn't do, so nice to see that they do that here. You can play the game in 4x3, you can go to the options and it actually has the ability for the game to play in 4x3 like the classics. However, honestly, I mean, there's no real reason to. It's much better to just have a wider field of view. So, I mean, for you purists out there who prefer playing a game like this in 4x3, it's there, I guess, but I don't really see the point.
So now what? Oh, 4, okay.
Yes, I do. I lived through those old days. What do you mean I don't appreciate those old days? I lived through them.
I was there, man.
I was. I actually was there. So.
Hey.
So I'm guessing the gist is when I stay in the center of the screen and move accordingly as soon as you see one of those spikes. Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Hello.
Alright, so mini boss battle against the egg robo. Basically, he'll keep shooting projectiles at you, so jump over. There you go.
It's an egg robo, but it's yellow.
No, actually, Teo, that's because of the thing that was. He's actually the typical color. It's a nice detail that they put in where the light of his bear.
Super.
Yeah, the light of his bear. Apparently, he switches colors whenever he's attacking. But basically, Teo, here's the color coding for you. Okay, that was my bad. Here's the color coding for you, Teo. Yellow, don't touch. Red, that's your time to hit him. That's the basic gist of it.
Okay.
I honestly thought that he'd been experimented on with the Chaos Emeralds and that was like his super form, akin to when Mecha Sonic does his thing.
Mm-hmm. It is not, though. There you go.
I don't remember... Okay. Yeah, it kinda happens towards the end, but the Chaos Emeralds do not alter too much the Hardball Abbeys, as far as I remember.
Well, actually, Teo, what alters the Hardball Abbeys is not the Chaos Emerald. It's the... Yeah, not to mention, Teo...
Sorry, the Phantom.
Phantom Ruby. That's the Phantom Ruby that does that in Minion, not the Chaos Emeralds. That being... Whatever, it's the MacGuffin of the game. Like, it's a jewel that does things.
You know, Rouge picked a pretty unfortunate profession being a jewel thief in a world where everyone and their mother wants them jewels, so...
Considering your attitude is kind of like the one of the DC's Catwoman, almost at the end of it, every time, even when she fails, she only just basically shrugs and like, just to live another day.
She's a good sport.
I wonder if she relishes it.
That's the thing too, like, it's not even just because of the jewels themselves, like, she loves the
The thrill.
the thrill of the hunt. So the fact that she failed, well, that means that means I still get to hunt more. So she takes it in stride, basically.
Hence her theme, fly into freedom.
Yeah, basically. All right.
It took me a while to realize that it was 2 people singing that song instead of 2. Instead of 1.
All right. Almost done.
Got it.
There you go.
Right, I got it.
Hey, you lost Tails' boot.
Oh,
No.
Dang.
He's fine.
Piece of shit.
So I was right. That robot was being powered by
a Chaos Emerald.
the Black Emerald.
They're doing that thing in for Sonic Adventure 1, Jova, where they drain the camera out of its power so they become colorless.
Yeah, you
So-
remember this bit happening from during the original game, so
Yeah. They, like, there's the iconic moments are all still here.
So is it mentioned in like the story for this remake that in this case the Chaos Emerald had its energy drained? Because that would.
Well, I'm guessing that's what we're supposed. I'm guessing that's what we're supposed to infer because like obviously it's one of those things that only Sonic fans like us who played Sonic Adventure 1 will get. I get, but
that's what happened in the initial cutscene, though, when the big arms grabbed the supersonic.
Yeah, that too.
Him out. If I recall correctly, at least some of the Chaos Emerald got the power.
If that is what happened, then yeah, that does check.
Well, remember, like technically, Sonic 3 and Knuckles established that because in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, when you're getting the Super Emeralds before they have their power, they're colorless. So technically, Sonic 3 and K was the one that introduced this concept. Now that I think about it, so technically, it checks out. All right, everybody. Next part, we finish the game.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.